What up, YouTube? It's your boy Big Cool coming to you from Colossal Boxing Talk. As you all know, Colossal Boxing Talk is associated with Three Kings Boxing under the movement umbrella. Now on to these topics, man. The WBA promotes Yunier Dorticos to the full champion, which adds spice to the WBSS tournament. Winner of the WBSS tournament will be the undisputed champion at Cruiserweight, and this is huge news. The last unified undisputed champion at Cruiserweight was the late O'Neal Bell. Rest in peace to him. I believe it was back in 2005 when he beat McCormick to become the unified undisputed champion of the Cruiserweight division. And this all happened because the WBA, elected to name Denis Lebedev the champion in recess. He's the champion in recess because he's hurt. In an odd move a few years ago, they allowed him to face Dorticos' upcoming opponent this Saturday night, Murat Gassif. They allowed him to defend his. They allowed him not to defend his WBA belt instead, because he held two belts, the IBF and the WBA. But when the WBA allowed him to just not defend it, he lost his IBF title to Murat Gassif via unanimous decision. But he was, scheduled to face Yunier Dorticos some point after the tournament, being that Dorticos was the WBA regular champion, and he wanted to be elevated as the the super champion of the organization. So while Lebedev will be the first to get a shot at Dorticos because he's the WBA champion in recess, this just makes this tournament even more exciting than it already was. Dorticos and Gassif are big punchers. Dorticos is 22-0 with 21 knockouts, coming off of a crushing defeat of I forget the guy's name, but he knocked him out in the second round in the first round of this tournament. And Gassif is 21 or 25-0 with 18 knockouts, power puncher, body puncher. He's trained by Abel Sanchez, and this fight is just going to be exciting. I'll be doing a breakdown video of this fight tomorrow. Just wanted to talk about this news reported by Chris Henderson from Three Kings Boxing. I'll post a link to the article in the description below so you all can check it out. But this is great news. Starting off with a bang in terms of undisputed champion. Usyk, I believe, is the WBC champion. Now Dorticos is the WBA champion. Gassif is the IBF champion. And I believe Usyk is also the WBO cruiserweight champion. So that's big news. This is even a bigger opportunity for these guys left in the cruiserweight tournament. We'll get the final decided this weekend. The winner of Yunier Dorticos versus Murat Gassif will face Alexander Usyk in the final to determine the winner of the tournament, as well as the undisputed champion at Cruiserweight. And man, that's just great news. These guys, whoever wins this tournament, will go down in history, whether they do anything else in their career, as one of the few guys to become the undisputed champion of their division. That means they beat the man who beat the man. They beat every guy in their division. Didn't duck or dodge anybody, and will be called the best man in that division. On to the next topic in this video. In my opinion, pound for pound #1 guy in the sport, Terence Crawford, has this to say about Lomachenko. I don't rate Lomachenko as pound for pound #1 or fighter of the year. Vasyl Lomachenko won 2017 fighter of the year last year. And Terence Crawford believes he was snubbed, all due to the fact that he did unify the junior lightweight or junior welterweight division, when he knocked out Julius Ndongo in the third round. And these are some quotes from Terence Crawford. This is what he had to say. He told Yahoo Sports this. He's a tremendous talent, but I do not rate him as the number one pound for pound. I do not rate him as the fighter of the year. Why? Because when we sat down and I said that if Lomachenko comes up 2 weight classes and fights me and I beat him, none of you will give me credit because y'all are going to say I'm too big for him. Everybody at the table said, yeah, you're probably right, but it's just the fact that we want to see the fight. So it's a lose-lose situation for me because I wouldn't get the credit for beating him. Even if I win a struggle to win or he did something to make the fight more interesting, then you would say you was getting beat by a little guy and the only reason you won is because you was big. Also, he said, fast forward to last year when he fought Rigan Dial, and Rigan Dial came up 2 weight classes. We don't know how old he is. Everybody says he's old as shit. He fought like 2 rounds in 2 years or something and didn't look good in those 2 rounds, and everybody gave him credit for that win. That is a double standard because y'all wouldn't give me the credit if I beat Lomachenko. He didn't even give himself credit, and I have to respect that. He said that it wasn't Rigan Dial's weight, so the win shouldn't be that high. And Terence Crawford has a point. A lot of people are going to read this article or just read the headline and say that he's jealous of Vasyl Lomachenko. He's throwing shade, throwing salt on him because, he didn't win Fighter of the Year. He's not considered by most consensus of the fans and media to be the pound-for-pound number 1 guy. And I guess you can look at it, but, I understand where Terence Crawford is coming from. It's a rare feat to become the undisputed champion in your division. That means you beat everybody they put in front of you, including every champion. You defended your title. You participated in a mega fight, whether the fight is mega monetarily or buzz-wise. When you are in a fight for all the belts in your weight class, that says something about how good of a fighter you are to get to that point. And while Vasyl Lomachenko did have a very good year, I don't rate it above Terence Crawford's because you got to look at it. To be undisputed is something that's rarely done, whether it's because a fighter doesn't want to fight a certain fighter or the sanctioning bodies, chooses to enforce a mandatory or whatever it may be. It's seldomly done in the sport of boxing. And for Terence Crawford to be able to do that and be dominant while doing it, says something to him. He also beat Felix Diaz, 2004 Olympic gold medalist, convincingly. I think he stopped him, if I'm not mistaken. Terence Crawford has been a fighter of the year, but I think that he should have got it. I'm not mad that Vasyl Lomachenko was named the fighter of the year. He had a great year. He defeated Guillermo Rigondeaux in a fight that we all thought was going to be, a great fight. Turned out to be a one-sided beatdown where he ended up making Guillermo Rigondeaux quit in the 6th round, after the 6th round. But, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Let's read a little bit more of what Terence Bud Crawford had to say. He also wasn't impressed with Lomachenko's 2 other wins in 2017. When we go to Mariaga, it's another fighter coming up in weight and coming off a loss. How can you even have the justification to praise him for that when the guy was never a world champion, never did anything in his career, never did anything in the amateurs, was coming up in weight, coming off a loss, and they make it seem like it was a gold medalist like Mariaga was world champion and beat this guy and beat that guy, and then Jason Sosa, he was just a basic guy. Another valid point from Terence Crawford. Mariaga was coming off of a loss to Oscar Valdez in a fight that he could, they could have went either way. That was a great fight. He was moving up. We knew he had no chance against Lomachenko, and that's not Lomachenko's fault that he's just, that much more superior skill-wise than Mariaga is. But Terence Crawford makes a valid point that, he's coming up in weight, coming off of a loss, and he's prime for the taking. Not to say that if he was coming off of a win, they were in the same weight division, that the same result of a one-sided beatdown wouldn't, it still wouldn't happen. But the point is, he's beating a guy. It seems like these guys are being tailor-made for him to look good against. That's what I feel that, Terence Crawford is stating. And also for Jason Sosa is definitely a basic fighter. He pulled out a Hail Mary against Javier Fortuna in their fight, which he was losing, getting outboxed, outfought in that fight. And, like I said, he pulled out a Hail Mary, hit him with a punch, knocked him out in the 10th or 11th round, and, won a title. But, still, you got to give credit where credit is due. Lomachenko still beat those guys. And it's hard to get guys in the ring with Lomachenko. That's what most of his fans will say. But like I said, I feel that Terence Crawford should definitely be fighter of the year and, pound for pound #1 guy. But like I said, that's an objective thing to talk about, objective list. Everybody has their preferences and who they feel is the #1 pound for pound guy in the sport, and also who they feel should be fighter of the year. But, Terence Crawford definitely seems like he's fed up with not getting the proper respect and credit he feels he deserves. A lot of people are questioning how will he fare at 147, against Thurmans, Porters, the Spencers of the world. And he's just ready. He's ready to put up, shut up, silence all the critics and the naysayers and the haters, and, dominate his second division. And we'll see how it plays out. He's facing Jeff Horn, I believe, April 21st in Las Vegas, Nevada, or New York for the WBO welterweight title in a fight he should win. Hopefully, he makes a great debut at 147, stops Jeff Horn in impressive fashion, and sends a message to all the other 147 pounders that he's here. He's here to stay, and he's here to cause some damage. So, on to the next topic. Deontay Wilder is a little bit over a month away from his, highly anticipated WBC heavyweight title fight against King Kong Luis Ortiz, where he will be defending his title live on Showtime at the Barclay Arena. And this is a fight that is dangerous because although Luis Ortiz is looked at as old by some, he's still very capable. He's undefeated. He's 28-0 with 24 knockouts. He's a southpaw. He can counter. He's very confident. And he's been wanting the title shot for the longest. If y'all remember way back a few years ago, he was the WBA interim champion after he had knocked out Latif Coyote to win that title. But he got popped for steroids and, was stripped of that title. And that fight was turned to a no decision. And, ever since that, it's kind of been, hit or miss with him. He also was scheduled to face Wilder back November 25th of last year, and he failed a drug test, which resulted in that fight being canceled. But that's water under a bridge now. Deontay Wilder decided to give him another chance. Deontay Wilder knows he has to step his competition up. He's 39-0 with 38 knockouts, coming off of a dominating performance in the rematch against Berman Stavern, who was his mandatory. How that happened, I don't know. Ask the WBC. He stopped him in one round, dropping him 3 times. Now he shifts his focus to Luis Ortiz. And Wilder already expects not to get 100% credit for a victory, which he's expecting over Luis Ortiz March 3rd. He's expecting the critics to make excuses for his win over Luis Ortiz. This is what he has to say. If nobody don't give me no credit on that, then that's going to be their sad life. May they be happy and go on about their miserable life, because we've got to remember, I never really got credit with nobody. We got to remember when I fought Stavern the first time, people already doubted me. They sent me off. They said he was better than me. He fought better competition than I, and that he was going to beat me. When I beat Stavern's ass, what did they do? They said, oh, he wasn't nothing. He was a bum. Every time I fight somebody, they discredit me. He also said people don't want me to fight Ortiz because they don't want me to say, hey, I fought one of the best and I beat them in great fashion. They want these guys to continue to fail drug tests or guys to continue to go fight other fighters. They want that for my career. So I can't say, hey, I fought this guy, or hey, I fought that guy, or I beat this guy. So with Ortiz now, the first time it was Ortiz is going to do this. Now that I am willing to fight him even a second time, people are already doubting it now because they see that I'm not playing, that I'm for real about what I say, and that I'm going to do what I say. Whether people give me credit or not, I'm still going to do what I say. I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to show him what's it like to have his back on the canvas. So Wilder also hearing that criticism, he doesn't like it. He's just putting that out there now that, he won't be shocked or surprised if the critics, the media, the fans, everybody, even fellow fighters, don't give him full credit for victory over Luis Ortiz. And in my mind, there's no way you can't give him, credit for beating one of the best heavyweights in the game today. Top 5 heavyweight, in my opinion, Luis Ortiz is. He is powerful. He can box. He can counter you. He's experienced. And he's shown to have a good chin. Will it, stand up to the power of Deontay Wilder? That remains to be seen. We have to see come March 3rd. But I don't think Wilder should worry about getting the credit or not from, a potential victory over Luis Ortiz. He needs to focus on, perfecting the game plan. And going out delivering the performance he says he's going to deliver, and the rest will fall in place, man. You keep knocking them out, you keep winning, the respect and credit will come in. It ain't gonna come when you want it to, but keep racking up those wins against those quality guys, and you will see that the respect and credit and just do come in over time. But I think he should focus more on the game plan and how to defeat Luis Ortiz, who's going to be a tough out, than worry about whether he's going to get full credit for victory. We know how the whole saying about Cuban fighters are, we don't really know their true age. A lot of people are saying Ortiz is 38, some people saying he's 48. So who knows really? We just know that he's a very skillful fighter who's to this day the biggest threat to Deontay Wilder and could very well derail Deontay Wilder's dreams of becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion and seeing Anthony Joshua later on this year, assuming Joshua will get past his WBO heavyweight champion Joseph Parker in their unification bout that's taking place, I think, 3 or 4 weeks after the Ortiz-Wilder fight, March 31st. So we'll see how everything plays out in the next few weeks, next couple of months. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to Colossal Boxing Talk. Head over to Facebook, like that Colossal Boxing Talk Facebook page. Follow me on Twitter at ColossalCBT. Drop those comments in the comment section below. Let me know about each one of these topics. Until next time I'm out. Peace.